Okay, good morning. Today is August the 3rd, 2022. Are you recording?
Well, it says I am.
Okay. I didn't hear it. Okay.
Recording in progress.
You heard it? Okay. Okay, I'll start again then. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, August the 3rd, 2022. What do you guys want to start?
Upon review of the commission minutes of July 13th, 2022 and July 20th, 2022, move to approve accordingly.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of estate and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? The motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from the elected officials and department heads, the commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of invoices as submitted by various departmental offices, the commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. Terms of office expiring. Nicholas County Public Defender Corporation Commission. Clyde Bales, term of office expiring August the 1st.
It's not there.
Okay.
Ed Snyder's the same.
I'll make a motion to appoint, unless you all have anyone else, Clyde Bells and Dan Snyder to terms of office expiring August 1st of 2025 to the Nicholas County Public Defenders Corporation Commission.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry. We also have to accept the resignation of W.D. Smith and the new Gorge Regional Economic Development Authority.
Now, this is something we received a couple months ago, but we need to formally accept this and then also find a replacement. So I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Smith from the NRG RDA.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? The motion does carry. Do we have anyone interested in the vacancy?
I've got a couple people, but I don't want, let's table it till the next time.
That's fine. Okay.
I want to recommend Rodney LaRose, but I mean, if we want to table it, that's fine too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Really well.
Yeah.
Do you want to add some other people there first?
No.
Because I mean,
No, that's fine.
okay. Well, I'll make that.
That was
motion
where I was
as
going, I
accepted.
just wasn't sure 100%.
That's fine.
Oh, no, we'll just make it.
Okay.
That'd be senior too.
Right.
Yeah. To the,
For that vacancy, I'd like to move for the term of office expiring June 30th of 2023, Rodney LaRose Sr.
okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry. We have a vacancy on the Nicholas County Firemen's Association.
So this was caused because of the retirement of Chief Snodgrass at Somersville Fire Department. The Nicholas County Fire Association did choose to nominate Evan Aldridge, the new chief of Somersville Fire Department, for this position, and I concur with their recommendation. So, of course, this has to basically come from them anyways. So I'll make a motion to approve placing Evan Aldridge of the Somersville Fire Department, acting as chief, to the Nicholas County Firemen's Association, and this should say, if it's acceptable with you all, go ahead and make the motion, also concerning the Nicholas County Fire Board,
Okay.
because that is the statement from the association.
All right. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry. All right.
There's just stuff.
Looks like, yeah, Bobby's next.
So you're breaking up again.
Yeah, okay. Take a break.
Record.
Okay, next up we have
Recording in progress.
County Clerk Robert Painter regarding voting site publication.
Yeah, we are adding a early voting site this year, and if we change anything with our early voting sites, you all have to advertise it.
Uh-huh.
And then at a meeting, first meeting in September, you'll approve it. But we have, this is just to order me to advertise it.
Okay.
For the class 2 advertising. And if you all are okay with that, I'll leave this in here and you can sign it.
That's fine.
We have a copy to sign too.
What's that?
We have a copy to sign here. And this is concerning for the public's benefit, the addition of a early voting location at Richwood City Hall during the same time span of what currently happens here at the courthouse.
At the courthouse.
Yes.
Yes.
We can, started researching how to add a site, we can do it. We don't have to have it open the same as the courthouse, but I think the first time doing it just to not cause confusion, we'll just do it the same hours.
Same hours.
time.
Absolutely.
It makes sense. Okay. Okay.
Do you need a motion on this, or you just, we need to? And I'll make a motion to approve the designation of community voting location advertisement
Yeah,
that the clerk needs to perform as presented.
and it'll be on the September 7th agenda.
Okay.
Anybody wants to?
September 7th. Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. Thank you, Mark. We have today,
Recording in progress.
okay, the estate of Geraldine Leona Arrington file.
Oh,
number
yes.
10413 regarding contesting the will by Gregory Arrington Jr. Okay. First of all the people that are going to speak, I want to swear you in. Okay, so if you anticipate speaking today, follow up behind. You can just say I do.
Raise your right hand.
Okay. I do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Okay. All right. Betty, you want to start it?
Just a little background. On May the 25th, Greg Arrington, who is the grandson of Lenora Arrington, came in and opened up the estate without a will. He was bonded, and he started. On July the 24th, Sandra Arrington, the daughter-in-law, came in. Is that right, daughter-in-law? Came in and lodged a will on, again, that was July 24th. She got appointed on 7/13, and we have a contested to the will is the grandson, Greg Arrington, who had started the estate back in May. So that's where we're at. We're contesting the will that was brought in for probate. Okay? And Mr. Arrington is right there, and he can,
Okay.
he's the one that's had the meeting scheduled.
Okay. You want to go ahead and state your name and what you have to say?
Yes, sir. Do I need to stand up?
No, you can sit right there. You're fine.
Okay, my name is Gregory Lee Arrington Jr. I'd like to start off by, I have a original will dated from March of 2016. My father, Gregory Lee Arrington Sr., and my grandmother, Leona G. Arrington, who originally made, leaving everything to me. That was never changed until after my father had passed. I was banned after my father was passed by Mrs. Sandra Arrington. I was banned the day after my father passed, and I hired Mr. James P.K. Milam. I was represented by him to obtain legal guardianship of my grandmother. The new will, I obtained Mr. Milam. Judge Callahan ordered a competency test to be done, and that's when the second will was, that's when they were that's when I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. That's when Mrs. Arrington took my grandmother over to Lawsonburg Court to have the second will made after I filed for guardianship.
May I intervene for a moment? There is a handwritten will that I have a copy of that I found in grandmother Mrs. Leona's room that was written on February the 16th. I have a copy of it that I can submit, and it's in different handwriting.
Was that ever recorded in the courthouse?
We actually found it when we were cleaning out Mrs. Leona's room.
Right. But do you know if it was ever recorded in the courthouse?
No, it was never
Physical copy?
recorded. It was
Okay.
made on February the 16th. They took her on February the 19th to Losh's office to make the second will. Some of it was written in grandmother's handwriting. It was finished in other handwriting. I have it in this paperwork along with some debt. There was much debt, a vehicle bought that was also forged. I have a piece of paper where Mrs. Grandmother's handwriting was practiced. Here is the copy of the will that was written. Here is a notebook where grandmother's handwriting was practiced multiple times by Mrs. Arrington, Sandra. When we originally, grandmother's credit score was an 800. Mrs. Arrington, Sandra, when we got with grandmother on December the 22nd, 2020, when they abandoned her, her credit score was 463. They bought a vehicle from Midstate Ford. On her, she's never had driver's license in her name. There was so much debt that I had to contact debt collectors to report it as fraud. I have all of this in a file. Ally Financial is the one that they financed the vehicle through.
May I state an objection? I represent Sandra Arrington. The time frame that the law requires us to look at is the time of February the 19th of 2020. That's the time frame that Leona Arrington signed the will that has been placed on probate, the only will that has been placed on probate. And so I would object to going back in time, who knows how long,
All of this was during the time
to
of
look
February.
at that time frame right there, to see if Miss Leona Arrington was under undue influence or lacked mental capacity.
Okay, let her
Thank you.
go ahead and stay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have, her credit was frozen on May the 24th of 2020. Her credit was continued to be used up until Sandra abandoned her on December the 20th of 2020. We were given a call, and we also have a recording on December the 19th of 2020 between me and Sandra, her admitting everything that she had done. She admitted that she would tear up the original will, give us the deed to the home. It was grandmother's home, Miss Leona's, that we should be out there with her because I even volunteered to bring grandmother to our home for her to live with us. She said, no, this is your all's home. I will give back the original will, the deed to the home. You all can move out here with her. So on December the 22nd, we received a phone call that they were leaving her. He had an hour to get out there with her. We lived on Old State Road. We had the option to buy our home. We left everything that we had and moved in with her. From that day on, we stayed with her until he gained legal guardianship on March the what? We had other court hearings, but they were postponed due to COVID. In March, he was awarded legal guardianship of her, but we lived with her. We stored everything we had in 2 buildings on her property, and we lived with her until she passed on April the 25th of this year. I was her full-time caregiver. I quit my job to care for her. My son his community service for high school was to help care for her. I took care of her 24/7 until she passed. She had dementia. We have medicine, unopened bottles of medicine that was not administrated that we were told not to give to her, that I still have in a baggie. We didn't even know she was on dementia medicine until we took her to a different doctor. All of this contains all of the debt all of the stuff that we found when Sandra left. He's currently over his dad's estate, who passed. She didn't open his dad's estate. There was money marketing accounts that he was a beneficiary on. All of his dad's assets, all of his personal belongings were distributed. He has a brother. He opened that 2 years later after finding out that he could. So that debt is like almost $70,000. So in 2015, she exploited grandmother for almost $40,000. His dad took out a loan against their life insurance because the state was going to pick it up and put her in jail. There was a 365-day restraining order put against Miss Sandra. His father divorced her. They reconciled. She was already, known for abuse against Miss Leona. They reconciled, and now we're at this.
Okay. All right, Nick, you can.
Thank you, may it please the commission. First, I'd just like to read a short statement from a case, West Virginia Supreme Court case 1996, Bill Hone versus Keonig. And it says in there that courts give special consideration to the testimony of witnesses present at the execution of a will. Evidence of witnesses present at the execution of a will is entitled to peculiar weight, and especially in this case that we're reporting on here, the attestation of the attesting witnesses. So special weight. And so we have a little computer problem here. We have two witnesses who were present when Leona executed the will that is before you, the only will that's been put on probate. When Mr. Arrington went in and opened probate without a will, I'm sure you have it in your file. On the very first page, is there a valid will? He said no. And then he signed, that's on the very first page, I believe, and then he signed swearing that that was the case. And so we have in the hallway, and I would like to present as a witness Patty Lay, who is a notary public, who currently still works in a law office. And just across the street, I can make a phone call for one of the attesting witnesses, Nikki Amick, can come and testify as to the execution of this will and what recollection they do have. And then, so may it please the commission, I would like to call Miss Lay, and then
I'm accepting to that.
if it's okay, I can get ahead and call the other witness to be coming over just across the street.
Okay. Greg?
Yeah, I'm listening, and I don't see any point in any of that. The will contest has to be filed in circuit court, where jurisdiction lies for a will contest, not the county commission.
Okay. I got you.
May I respond, Greg?
Sure.
I believe that the county commission can have jurisdiction over this matter, and if it is appealed, then the circuit court would act as a trial court, not as an appellate court. In other words, it would be trial de novo upon appeal, but I would, our position is that the county commission does have jurisdiction if that is where the action is filed, which has been done in this matter.
Well, in response, Tom, I think that the will, as far as the county clerk and the county commissioner are concerned, the appears to be a valid last will and testament. So, I mean, if they want to admit it to probate, they can do that as the decedent's last will and testament. If someone wishes to contest that, then that's where the will contest is the circuit court.
So are you advising the commission to not rule on this matter? I'm not sure.
But I mean, the will has not been admitted to probate yet, has it?
Yes, it has. Yes.
All right, then, well then.
And Ms. Arrington has been granted by this commission a letter of administration.
Then I think if someone contests that, then I think the contest is in circuit court. It's been admitted to probate, and you know, that's where it has to be contested. And I mean, the county clerk's office moves forward, the current executrix moves forward with the administration of the estate until otherwise stopped on circuit court. So, I mean, Tom, I guess your client is the executrix, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
So I mean, my recommendation to the commission is that she moves forward until the will's proven to be invalid. That has to be done by the circuit judge.
Well, I've already stated my position on that, and I will just leave it now to the, I believe the county commission does have jurisdiction, but I will leave that to the wisdom of the commission.
Beyond the response to just the contesting of the will specifically, is there any other statements you all would like to make while we consider what we have in the file here?
Well, I was going to call the two witnesses that
Right.
were present during the execution of the will.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
This, you said this right here is in two different people's handwriting.
Yes, sir.
And it's not valid, and the state will never accept it.
Okay.
It has to be completely in her handwriting and her signature, or we cannot even.
The point is,
The point is, that's not valid, we won't even talk about it.
And unless it's recorded in the courthouse, we can't accept it.
Okay.
That's another issue.
Pilot draft will, it has to be entirely in the handwriting of the decedent. So if it's got multiple different handwriting in it, it's not a valid holographic will.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
I just learned that this weekend.
Okay.
Correct.
That's one of the things in class. Okay.
Then you just have a recommendation.
We can listen to Patty and see how, you know, and let Mr. Fast give his witnesses, and then we can make a decision what we want to do.
I agree.
Okay.
Excuse me, Matt, speak. What about the audio I have being submitted?
That would be a court of law issue. I mean, that's beyond the training and qualification of a commission. I'd have to agree with our lawyer, at least on that
That gives
aspect.
me, that gives me time to hire me an attorney to go on to make the trial.
We can't give legal advice, but I suppose you could consider that an opportunity, yes.
All right.
Was your father already deceased when this will was written? When did your father die?
January 1st, 2020.
So it was, yeah, because it says in here, how do I do that?
I will.
Swear.
Okay, I'll do swear you. You can just say I do when you finish, okay? I do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Patricia Ann Lay, L-A-Y.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Lay, I'd just like to ask you a few questions. Do you work in a law office?
I do, yes.
Okay, what office is that?
The Washington Court.
Okay. And in your capacity working at the law office, are you a notary public as well?
Yes.
And do you assist in receiving in clients who want to execute or want to talk about a will?
Yes, I do.
And do you, as like a paralegal, interview clients as well?
Yes.
Okay. And are there tests, verbal tests, so to speak, that you give to people to try to make sure that nothing wrong is going on, or foul play, or undue influence, or mental incapacity, or anything like that? Do you ask any questions along those lines?
Well, I usually ask, I always ask if the person preparing the will has ever been declared incompetent by a judge or a doctor, if they've ever been diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's.
Okay. And if you believe that any incapacity is existing, or if there's undue influence, in other words, someone's in essence being coerced into doing something as far as a will, would you proceed nevertheless to go ahead and notarize such a will?
No.
Okay. And now I'm going to show you, this is a copy of a will that's in the commission's file, and ask if you can recognize any signatures on that, if your signature's on that
Oh, I'm
document.
sure that, let's see. Yes, I notarized that.
Okay,
Um,
okay, and who witnessed it?
Nikki Amick and Mike Atkins.
Okay, so in notarizing this will, were all three, yourself and the two witnesses, were they all present with the testator all at one time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now I am probably certain you've done hundreds of these, maybe
Hundreds.
thousands.
Yeah, hundreds, I
Okay.
would say.
And do you have a vivid recollection of each and every person that you've notarized a will for, or
No,
even
sir.
consulted in your
I'm sorry.
law practice there?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. But in looking at this will, would you have, do you have any certainty or not whether you would have asked those questions about capacity, incompetency, undue influence that you
Yes,
said?
I would have.
Okay. And so now, was this will that you're holding in your hand, was that executed in the law office wherein you work?
Yes.
And when was that?
Would have been February 19, 2020.
Okay, all right. And do you have any sense as to whether any foul play was going on in the execution of this will?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, that's all I have of this witness.
Okay.
And I can get a
Thank you.
hold of the attesting witness if the commission would like.
May I speak?
Yes.
Whenever I called the Larry Walsh's office in order to see if I could obtain a copy of Miss Leona's first will, they told me that they no longer had it on record, said that they didn't keep wills on file no longer than 5 to 6 years. And I said that they had to keep it on file longer. And I explained to the lady she's only there on Tuesdays. What's the lady's name? That's her name, her, I didn't know. But anyway, so I told her, I said, ma'am, I said, that's not true. I said, you all have to keep it on file longer. So I told her that I was going to call the bar. I actually did. They explained to me that no, they had to keep it on file for 7 years. So I called her back and I told her, I said, ma'am, I said, I spoke to the bar. I said, they explained to me that you have to keep it on file for 7 years. I said, we need, I said, he's the administrator of her estate. He's her guardian and her conservator. I think this was when Grandma was still alive, wasn't it? No, it was after she passed. So she said, I'm sorry, we don't have it. So the very next morning, in our mailbox, the copy that you all have, or do they have that copy? The copy that you all have was in our mailbox. After her telling me that they didn't have it, that they destroyed it, but it showed up in our mailbox at 31 Crystal Mountain Lane. She told me that they destroyed it, that they didn't keep it past 5 or 6 years, that they didn't have it.
Ms. Lane, would you like to respond to
I would
those?
like to respond to that, sir. We never make copies of wills. Only in certain cases do we make copies of a will, because a copy of a will is no good. It's not even worth the paper that it's printed on. So the only copies I keep are on my computer. Now, wills that had been done previously, I don't know if you guys remember Gail Walsh or not, but when Gail was over there, she would keep copies of wills and things like that, but then I was told that I don't need to do that anymore. Well, Bill McCourt's wife, Kathy, came in and I told her that this person had called about trying to find a certain will. So we actually got together because the office is in the process of moving and everything is boxed up. And many of the files have been moved out and destroyed, okay? So we got together and we started searching and searching. So she finally found a file that had been misfiled and we were able to pull out a copy. And I thought I would help them out by just mailing them a copy.
Was it
of
a
the-
signed copy or
No.
an unsigned copy?
We do not keep signed copies of wills.
Okay, so what you mailed was an unsigned copy?
Right,
Okay.
that's all that I had.
All right. I don't have anything further to this witness. I can get a hold of Miss Amy if you'd like to.
Please.
You would excuse me 1 second.
Do you need me to stay?
I don't, unless the commission has any questions.
I don't believe so. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Was the fire fee right after my 100?
She'll be right over. She just crossed the street.
So was it right after 100? Okay, all right. So, so will you call my?
Won't be late.
It'll be the first time.
Yeah. That's right.
It won't be the last time. You know that.
Thank God Gary brought me food. I'll be okay. This one's been 2 for 1
They're
day.
going back to work and.
Can't do the one or 2 for 1, it's cheaper.
He used to sit.
Okay.
That's all right. Thank you. Come on in. Just have a seat right here. I'll swear you in here.
You, Nikki?
Yes.
Okay. You can just raise your right hand and you can say I do or I'm not finished. I just solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
Okay.
Just state your name for the record.
Nikki Amick.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Amick, how do you spell your first name?
N-I-K-I.
Okay. So, what is your title?
Paralegal.
Okay, and how long have you been a paralegal?
Since I got my certification in 2014.
Okay, so many years.
Yes.
Okay. And in your capacity as a paralegal, do you also serve as a witness for execution of wills?
Yes, sir.
And in 2020, did you assist in serving as witnesses for executing wills at William McCord's law office?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And do you know the primary notary public there?
Patty Lake.
Okay. And when you are executing wills, do you understand that what wills normally state about a person's mental capacity and competency?
Yes.
What is that?
That they have to be mentally competent to attest to everything that they want in their will is what they actually want.
Okay. And is the language sound mind and disposing memory normally placed in a will?
Yes.
Okay, and you've seen that many, many, many times?
Mhm.
Okay. And if you are ever in a situation where you're thinking this person really doesn't understand what they are doing, or this person is incompetent, or this person is being coerced, what would you do in a situation like that?
I would ask the person that's preparing the will, the person taking care of the client, Patty, in that situation. I would
Okay.
tell her, you know, does this seem right? Have you checked to make sure she's good? But,
Okay.
yeah.
And if you find out that in your judgment that there would be a situation where you just don't believe the person is competent or there is undue influence or something, would you nevertheless go ahead and witness the will?
No.
Okay.
I tell the attorney.
Okay, but you would back off at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to hand you a document that's of record with the county commission. It's a copy of a will. And first, let me know if you recognize any of the names there.
Leona,
You recognize that name?
and Mike Atkins, and myself,
Okay.
and Patty.
Now, Mike Atkins and yourself, where did those names appear? Your name?
On the signature pages.
As a witness?
As a witness.
Testing witness?
Mhm.
Okay. And do you have any exact recollection of this will sign?
If I'm being completely honest, I don't. I've witnessed a lot of wills for Patty in the past, a lot of elderly clients. I just don't remember.
Does the name,
Her name is familiar, but
okay,
I don't
you
know if
remember
I-
the name?
Yes.
Okay. And as with any other will, in executing this will, if you thought for a minute that there was undue influence or incapacity or anything of Miss Leona Harrington, would you have placed your signature as a witness on that will?
No, sir.
Okay. And you in fact did, however, sign that will as an attesting witness. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you signed that will, you were signing actually a self-proving affidavit, is that correct?
Yes.
So that's under oath, correct?
Yes.
So you would have been subject to perjury if you didn't think that she was of sound mind and disposing memory, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. That's all the questions I have for the witness right now, thank you.
I think we're gonna have to accept it as it is, and if
Right.
they wanna fight it, we're gonna have to go to circuit court, but everything's in order in our part.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'll make a motion to accept this last will and testament as presented here today concerning the will dated the 19th of February 2020. And if there's any disagreement beyond that, the recommendation of circuit court would be in order, because really that's as far as I believe this commission's power entails.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry.
Would you like me to prepare an order to present to the commission, as to your motion?
Yeah.
I have a question. How do we have it transferred out of Fayette County or out of Nicholas County?
You'll have
That's
to-
a question for a
you'll have
lawyer.
to get an attorney for that. Okay?
And how long does she have to give us notice?
That's the question for a lawyer.
Okay.
We'll, I will get the order, I'll mail it in.
That's fine. Okay.
Send it to Greg.
Yeah,
sorry.
Send it to Greg. Let him.
Oh, Tucker,
Tom,
Yeah.
send it to me to review and I'll present it to the commission.
will do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Okay.
Let's go for the record, get this over with, because we're behind.
Recording in progress.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So the estate of Stephen Koger, James Douglas Koger had made an objection to the final settlement, and I have gave you the letter that he presented, what I sent to him, asking him, and then his objection still to it. I also gave you a copy of the final settlement that is here for approval. Mr. Koger isn't here, right? And Clarissa was here. She's the lady doing the estate, Clarissa Hanks. However, she does have a job and she had to leave. So there's no one here to object to it. So,
All right. Greg,
Yes.
do you have anything you want to say here?
She said Mr. Coder is not present.
Correct.
I would recommend that someone move to deny his objection and accept final settlement.
So moved.
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. Okay?
so I'm gonna put this in the file right here.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Are we-
Commissioners.
Anybody there for the public hearing?
Yes.
So, you can let
Thank you all.
Clarissa know. It'll be approved here in a little bit.
Okay.
So she can distribute the money as she feels. She brings it.
Okay. You ready, Dave?
Recording in progress.
Okay, you're here for the public meeting, for public comment on the Nicholas County Fire Fee ordinance. Okay.
Okay, and the commission did follow the class 1-0. I thought it was class 2. Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, we didn't have time to do it for 2 weeks.
Okay. The legal advertisement for the week of July 28, 2022, understood now. The public meeting read as the Nicholas County Commission will hold a meeting on Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022 at 10 a.m. in the office of the Nicholas County Commission to hear comments from the public concerning the Nicholas County Fire Fee ordinance being proposed. A copy of the proposed ordinance can be picked up in the office of the Nicholas County Commission weekdays from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. The public is invited to attend. The third reading of the proposed Nicholas County Fire Fee ordinance will, with action being taken by the Nicholas County Commission, will directly follow the public comment portion of the meeting. So who do we have here for the public comment? What's that? What's that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Okay. If you'd like to come out and state your name for the record.
Go up where?
Just anywhere up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
My name's Arnold Nichols. Excuse me?
Go ahead.
I guess now you want to know what I want to know.
Sure. Yes, sir. Sorry for that.
Okay. I've got a question on the fire fee that I've had for the last 30-some years, ever since the inception of it, back when they started, when Mr. Bozo was the fire chief of Somersville. And I believe, if my mind serves me right, Mr. Cole, that when this first started this time, and we were going to put it on the ballot, that I contacted you. I'm almost sure it was you. I just had a recent flood in my basement, so I lost a piece of paper that you'd get me. But it was my understanding that once the fire fee was enacted, that it would have to go back through the same procedure if ever there was to be a raise. That's always been my concern with the fire fee. And I'd like to state for the record I'm not against the fire fee, okay? I'm not against it. But my concern has been, is, and continues to be, who has the authority to raise the fire fee? Enough people have an open checkbook on me. I don't like the idea of this fire fee. I think the backdoor approach was taken because we changed from putting it on the ballot to the 10% of voters and give the county commission the ability to go to the fire board and enact it, okay? Now, you went, and I've read this thing, you know, and I don't see no problem with the rates. I don't see no problem with the fire fee. Again, I want to state that. But you got 10% of the voters' signatures, and that gave you all the authority to enact it. Now you tell anybody that if they want to have a problem with it, or they do have a problem with it, they've only got 45 days to get 3 times as many signatures to come against it, okay? Now, you went to great lengths to tell me the rates. You went to great lengths to tell me what, you know, the late fee charge. You went to great lengths to tell me the litigation fees that I'll be responsible for if I don't pay it. You went to great lengths to make sure that I understand that the county commission won't put a lien on my property because they don't want no liability of my property. You went to great lengths to do that. But for the sake of transparency, you never mentioned who's going to raise this thing. And eventually, I believe it was you I spoke to yesterday, wasn't it?
No.
Correct.
You,
Correct.
okay. As you said, eventually somebody's going to want to raise this thing. You know. So, who has the authority to raise it? Is it going to be another one of these things that the public, that I, as a member of the public, have no input in? You know, I signed a petition to get this thing, you know, put on the ballot, and I was all for it. And I don't have a problem with the 10% if you can at least tell me that you got to get 10% of the signatures to raise it.
So let me address a couple things, and if I misrepresent to you that it goes on the ballot, I apologize.
Okay.
That is an option. You'd rather go 10% of the voting population or there is no and.
Yeah, or.
Put it on the ballot.
Right.
Now, in the 45 days, if 30% of the voting population does a petition against, then it also goes to the ballot.
Right.
So there's an avenue to get there, but the 10% has always been a viable option as well.
But, go ahead.
Yeah, and then on the raising of the fee, Greg, do you mind to expand on that? And then,
No,
and this is our legal counsel.
Right, I agree.
and he's got a good question, a very good question. To raise the fee, to amend the fee, fire fee ordinance in any manner, you have to go through the same process as you do to enact the fee. So you would have to, you have the option of going through the 10% route of the voters or putting it on the ballot.
Okay, so to make sure that I'm understanding you, Greg, correctly, that if it comes to the point in time that they want to raise this fire fee from 35 to 40 or whatever, they either have to do one of two options. They have to get the 10% of the voters' signatures, or it has to go on the ballot and be approved by the public.
Right, by simple majority.
Correct.
By a simple majority.
That's right.
Okay, that answers.
They just can't, you know, willy-nilly raise the fee when they want to. It's a difficult process.
Okay, that answers my question, but, you know, I've never been able, until last year, when it first started, and I had the paper but that all dealt with the process of putting it on the ballot, was my understanding, okay? And so now, I just wanted to know, since we've changed and went through this percentage procedure, I just wanted to know, and I want to have it clarified to me, in my mind, that, you know, it just didn't, it just raised a concern to me. You know, a perfect example is, you know, the state, looking out after my best interest, passed a law a few years ago that everybody was required to have insurance. All right, then they turned around and said, okay, now you got to carry underinsured insurance. You know, which if I have a wreck with somebody that don't have insurance, that costs me a $300 deductible. Okay, so people looking out after my best interest worries me. So that was my whole purpose of being here today. And I thank you, sir.
Well, absolutely. And you know, the concern of being back to our promise, I mean, we've had public meetings since what was my first year? Since
2020.
March or May of 2019. And so, you know, and the Chronicles reported on them stuff. So, I mean, I promise there's not been any ill intent with this, and we gotta keep our fire departments. I mean, that's what
Right,
we're
yeah,
doing.
and
like I
again-
said, you know, I understand you're in agreement with that,
Right.
but.
Yeah,
I'm glad
I'm
you
in total
came to
agreement. I sat in the barber shop
Have this discussion.
30 years ago when they put it on ballot. My mind served me right back then. Maybe they didn't, but anyway, they put it on the ballot then and it failed. But I sat over there and talked to Joe Bozo in the barber shop, and his cry was he couldn't understand why anybody was against it. And I told him, I said, same thing I told you. Our fee I'm not against. Please, somebody explain to me who can raise it. And he said, oh, it can't, blah, blah, blah. And I said, show me.
Right.
And I said, I will advocate for it and everything. And they couldn't, and I voted against it.
Yeah, the 10% and the going on the ballot, that's state statute.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
it
yeah, I
is in
understand.
code,
I
and
understand.
so, you know, we're beholden to that. So.
Yeah, whether I agree
But that
with
is
it
a
or not, I
good,
understand.
right, but yeah, see, that is a good safeguard.
We have a lot of things we don't always agree with
Right,
either,
that's
but you
right.
have to follow the
Right,
code.
that's right.
Okay, we can try to get it changed.
Okay, you got me out of here for you.
Well, no problem. I'm glad you come in.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here for the public meeting on the fire?
Yeah, let's take a break. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we now have had the public meeting for public comment on the Nicholas County fire fee. And we're ready to do the third reading of the Nicholas County fire fee ordinance and action taken by the commission. Here.
Well, I'll have to say that almost 4 years later, we finally got to the point where we can look out for our fire departments. It's taken many lawyers, many years, and many aggravations, but again, here we are. As discussed in the public comment, for the public's benefit, you know, for anything to change on this, the same procedure has to be followed, so you are safeguarded from, you know, yearly increases or anything crazy like that. You know, we'll have to wait and see how much money truly is collected by this for the departments. We may have to consider a rate increase, but I don't necessarily foresee that myself. As noted by the gentleman, Mr. Nichols, this is a voluntary deal. We can't put a lien on your property, but if you have any incidents or anything like that, you will be billed as you currently are. It's no additional penalty if you do not pay. But we strongly encourage people to consider doing so. These people volunteer 120 hours before they can even touch a fire truck, let alone respond to your emergency when you need them. And you know, all the departments have struggled for years now with membership, with equipment, with training, and hopefully this will be a large help in all of those regards. And I'm just glad to finally see that the commission, between Commissioner Atkins, myself, Commissioner Neal, and now Commissioner Chapman, have finally got this done.
Yeah, I would like to add that the insurance, if the people in the area were to lose the fire department, their insurance would go up dramatically, okay, and it would be much, much more than this fire fee. And it's something that, and we've had fire departments go out, and we've had some that are close, because it was time for us to take action and step up to the plate. Okay, absolutely. Yeah. I need a motion.
I'd like to first make a motion to waive the reading, the third reading of the Nicholas County fire fee ordinance.
Okay, a motion to waive that. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and one against. The motion does carry.
And I'd like to also make a motion to approve and enact the Nicholas County fire fee ordinance as presented here today, after the third reading, of course, and its effective date become today, which is August 3rd, 2022.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anyone against? The motion does carry. Okay, and I'm glad to finally have this behind us.
Absolutely.
Some things take quite a while to get through, and this has been one, but it's kind of like the Hinkle Mountain Water Project.
Yes.
34 years later, we got it
Yes.
done.
We got it.
Okay. And some of these projects have taken forever. but we
I
are
did all the
getting,
floodplain
Oh, yeah,
permits,
well,
and I'd
very
like
good.
to get it
Okay.
up there.
yeah, just getting everything done. Okay,
Recording stopped.
okay,
Keep it on.
we're good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Recording in progress.
Now it's picking up her. It's all your problem.
It's fine.
Good luck. I've done this for almost 4
No,
years,
it's
so now
gonna
it's your
be a
turn.
lot easier to deal with now that I talked to Software Systems. They're gonna be a great company to work with. I like them. They're fast with getting back to me and they've been patient with me.
There you go.
She said, when do you need this done? I said yesterday.
And for the public's benefit, in like 2020, we approved a company to come in and do the software. They've been anxiously awaiting us, the Software Systems that Daylin's referring to. And they'll be giving us some good help.
And we've actually used software system for several years.
Right, that's who runs our tax department.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the clerk's office.
yeah. So anyway.
So very good. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to stay for this one, it don't matter.
Susan, get your dates and then,
We'll go ahead and stay on. Stay on.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just pick that back.
We'll take care of a bunch of stuff here. I've got a request here with Homeland Security in the park. John has mentioned, our Homeland Security Director, that he has the extra black trailer that Director Wolford bought. I've heard about the bigger one that's now the Mobile Command, that he wants to auction off. Well, since we ran into the problems with the car auction and everything else, that actually can't happen. And because of the procurement of some other potential properties and stuff like that, I'd like the commission just to consider that box trailer being transferred to the Parks Commission for the hauling of equipment and stuff like that. I did go down and measure the zero turn mower would fit and stuff of that nature. So whatever we need to put them on. Not the tractor, but of course John's got the car hauler for it.
Car hauler.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's my only request. And well, I guess, to that point, actually, just the commission's approval of the use of the Homeland car hauler for the transfer of the tractor from the park to the rail to trail and back and forth. Because I did not realize actually the shape of the park's trailer is not, I will not put that tractor on. It would be very tight to begin with, the deck's rotten, the wheels are bad, the tires are bad, so, pending some major work, it'd be fine. But for right now, to make sure we can take care of the rails and trails, then we go ahead and just permit the use of that. Yeah, I'll make a motion with that request, those requests.
Who's gonna move the stuff?
I would prefer park staff, as in Crandall. He's renting equipment and everything else. He can deliver it. Mr. Conrad and others can operate it, and then Crandall will go get it.
I like that idea. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, anyone against? The motion does carry. Okay?
That's all I have, so thank you.
All right.
We're good to hold.
Okay, we can take a break.
We'll be just a minute late. Hold on, just one second.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Concerning a legal matter, I need to move into executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4. And it's 11:06 a.m.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone
Aye.
against? Motion does carry.
So if you don't mind, we'll just be.
Progress.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to exit executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4. It is 11:16 a.m. For the record, no decisions were made during that time.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. We're now out of executive session.
Do you have a date from
No. Do you have a copy of the bid from Alfred?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. You want to explain it or you want me to explain it?
Go ahead.
At the last meeting, I had some concerns concerning the DRC bid on painting. And so Commissioner Chapman allowed for some time there for me to contact the contractor and some other issues. I better understand now, there wasn't much of a breakdown on the costs, so going forward, you know, hopefully that's something we can address with our contractors, but with the actual amount of work that they will be performing, it'll be a primer base to bring everything together with all the different building materials, and 2 layers of the color selected by the commission. So I better understand that basically it just goes down to a ratio of so much per square foot, which is the exact same ratio used on the Main Street Annex. And so being the one table that I'd like to bring that back up, and I'm willing to make a motion to approve. We did not receive any other bids. I think rebidding this would be an extra month of work to have a similar result. We did at the meeting have really all of the contractors in the local area that were even willing to show any interest whatsoever. And so that being said, I'd like to go ahead and rescind the tabling and make a motion to approve Alpha Construction of Summersville's bid on the Nicholas County Day Reporting Center of $36,750. And does he have a, I don't see one, is there any kind of a completion date requirement that we want to set on that?
It was in the specs.
Okay, it was.
Yeah, I think it was
We're
60
good.
days. Did we
Okay.
give them 60 days?
Until
It seemed like it was up in September.
September 1st, I believe.
Is that still reasonable with us
Yeah,
holding
I
this
think
off? Very good. We'll stick with that number, and that's how my motion will be presented.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? The motion does carry.
Thank you.
Okay,
But Craig also has gutter repairs.
okay, go ahead.
We got it.
On the back.
Did we not okay that?
I don't think we've got a bid on it yet.
Yeah, we did. Landmark gave us a bid on replacing the
We
doors.
did approve that.
Yeah, we approved.
Now, it's the doors, but was it the gutters on the back of the DRC?
Oh, no, we did not approve that.
Yeah, I don't think we've got one on that yet.
Yeah, you do. You just table it. And then the doors we gave to somebody else, the 2 jail doors.
The 2 over here,
Yeah.
but Doug's doing that one.
But we had Doug do the door and
And
the gutter.
No, it was the door and the awning.
And the awning.
Oh, the awning.
The
Yes.
awning, yes, because it's already on.
So it should be in that packet he gave us the other day.
See, I never saw that.
Gutters. I just saw the awning and the.
We need to get that
I
done.
don't think it's actually said gutters, it said roof cap or something like that.
I didn't even see that, Commissioner.
Because I think Landmark gave us like 4 bids that day.
I just saw the 2, and I attached them to his letter that I did. That's the letter I did to Doug,
Right, the door and the awning. I remember seeing these.
right?
And then the other, the third bid would have been the doors over here, but they were beat out, so they weren't selected on that. Yeah, I don't remember the
I don't
gutter,
remember seeing the gutter.
I thought I saw it too.
but maybe just have him send it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I suppose we move forward.
As long as Craig's good, I'm good.
Where's Doug's bids? Do you have those?
The 2 we approved.
But the whole.
Do you have the other one that we didn't approve on the door over here?
Oh, there should be both there.
No, there's 3 bids. Because he also bid on the 2 doors over here.
No, that was Summersville Glass.
He bid also, but some of the glass was selected.
Oh, I don't remember
Right.
seeing that one.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's, but it didn't make it in my hands.
Got some document organization we can work on here.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make it over my
Well,
direction.
let's just put it this way, there's a lot of stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
with the permit, with the approval of Commissioner Chapman, table the gutter repairs.
We'll just get
Come back.
And get an updated bid.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Because you signed off on Summersville Glass.
Right.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. I remember it was presented, but like I said, it was higher, so he wasn't selected.
All right. It's now time to,
And if he can't get to that repairs or whoever gets it, till after the painting's done, we'll just have to make sure Jeremy leaves enough paint to.
Finish
Yeah.
it. Yes, absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Do they have a start date, speaking of, before we go to the next, do we have a start date on the annex? Because of course the awning is off.
The awning's off, so that's all I know.
Okay.
And we did
Both
choose.
buildings was
call
August
for the
1st,
Uh-huh.
and date was September 1.
Oh, okay, so,
Of course,
Okay.
that was a two-week delay on the DRC building.
Yeah,
right.
all right.
Okay. Next.
Okay. At your request of the commission, Carl Bales, board member at 911 CPS.
Morning.
Good morning.
If you don't mind coming up here to the,
And I'm gonna be there, right?
no, yeah, right.
Camera's back there.
Camera's back there.
Where do you want?
Just if you like
That's
sit down
fine.
even, that'd be fine.
I'm staying because
All right.
That's right. Because I'm nervous. Okay, I guess I'm resigning from the board.
Okay.
My reason being is this really sucks. You can't get nothing done. You got two board members are like this. Can't do that board out there unless you got more than, I have no one on my side. Doesn't matter what I say, they just do what they want to do. I have been trying to get them to open up the building so the community can come in and pay their water bill and stuff. They're not doing it because of COVID. But that's not what it is. They just don't want to fool anybody and they want us to do it right. So. They had lost a excavator back of the trailer on Ward Road. I said the two that done it should have been reprimanded. Swept under the rug.
They actually drove to the office, parked the truck and went home. And the next morning, a local citizen who was actually pregnant at the time had to swerve and miss it and it curved in the road, on Ward Road.
But that was okay because nobody got killed. Nobody got hurt.
So it just went off and then
It
that's
slid off the trailer?
They didn't chain it down.
Was it nighttime?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was about, but when you get back and you get out of that vehicle, and you
Yeah.
walk to your personal vehicle, are you not gonna notice there's not an excavator on the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
when I was in the equipment rental business, I can actually attest to the same thing.
Really?
Not by me, but
Okay.
You know, all they care about is if we get extra money, let's spend it. We had weed eaters stolen. So now they think we need this $12,000 metal building to put those weed eaters in. We don't even need the weed eaters because nobody uses them. You know. They sit in the meetings, they make fun of people when they have complaints. I'm not like that.
Well, let me ask you, does the PSD, and I'm not picking on you, I mean, I'm not picking on anybody, but I truly want to know because it's been a concern raised to me multiple times. Does the PSD even have a schedule, a rotation, a whatever you want to call it, of flushing the hydrants to make sure they're operating properly?
It's law, they're supposed to be flushed twice a year, I think.
Are they?
No, they're not
Okay,
doing that.
very good, thank you.
They're supposed to weed eat around all the meters
Yes.
once a year. They're not doing it. When I put my business in, we couldn't find the water meter. Those guys were out there with their little things trying to find the meter. I had to call ex-employee and say, hey, do you know what the water meter is for this place? He walked right to it. And they were standing right there. But the employees run that, they run the whole thing. The board has no say. It's just whatever the employees want, the employees get. And I didn't sign on to kiss their hands or anything like that. I wanted to see something happen for the older people. We get a lot of 4,000 gallons of water a month. Nobody uses it. Those older people would be lucky if they used $1,000. So I thought, why can't we give them a break? Well, that was just a big wow. So the big project that they're doing, we had this special meeting. 3 people came up from Charleston, signed the papers on it and everything like that. And the person who was supposed to sign was me. So I asked everybody in the room. I said, I need you guys to explain to me exactly what's going on. I'm not a plumber, I'm not a water person.
Not one person, not even the big engineer, could explain anything to me. I was basically told, you need to sign these papers. So I said, I'm not signing nothing that I don't know nothing about. So I got moved from secretary to vice chairman or whatever. And they put Malcolm in as secretary so those papers got signed. And yes, I did. I threw a custom fit from. But you really do need either to wipe them all out or get another board member.
I want to thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to say I enjoyed it. When I got on there, they started giving out my phone number. Call her, she's on the board. And like I said, I knew nothing.
You have any recommendations for your replacement?
Yeah, but they don't know.
Okay.
I
Come
tried-
across somebody to call me.
I try to get somebody that will actually stand up, but, I threw custom fit after custom fit, but I still ignored. Like I said, Dr. Carson D. Great. He just needs to get the water service.
Well, yeah, right. Get him by that water meter and we'll be talking, right?
Okay.
But I hate it.
Well, no, yeah, we hate to see you go, but if you don't mind, we just need a resignation in writing, and then so we can prove it as part of the record and all that. And that can be just mailed to the commission here in the next week or so, that'd be fine. Well, no, yeah, I didn't know you were gonna go to that, so I never even thought of it.
All right.
But, well, but you need something.
Yeah, still right. That's correct.
Well, and I didn't get a chance to go take that class, and now I'm just like swamped with grandkids and stuff. I could not go
What?
for a week or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
But still, yeah, if you need anything,
No, absolutely.
I'll come and flag for you if you're out there doing construction.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for
guys.
coming in.
Thanks, Carla.
Okay. Rusty, somebody calling in from Rusty?
Supposed to be. We'll go ahead and take a break.
Recording in progress.
Okay. At the request of the commission, Attorney Rusty will have to discuss opioid litigation in requesting executive session. So I need a motion.
Anything you'd like to state beforehand?
No.
Okay. I'll move to enter executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4 for matters not considered public records, and it is 11:32 a.m.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? That motion does carry. Now executive session.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to exit executive session. Mind wrapped around what we're doing here. Pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4, it is 12:06 p.m. and for the record, no decisions were made
Okay.
during that time.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. All right. Now, we're down to Eric.
Okay. All right, excellent. Well, thank you very much again for having us. If it's okay with the commission, I would just request that we go into executive session since we are going to be discussing some confidential business terms that still aren't public with the project yet. I think we can have a much more productive conversation if we can enter into executive session.
All right.
I have no issue with that. I'll move into executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4 for matters as stated by Mr. Eric and the construction, planning, commercial, competition matters, purchase, sale, and lease of property.
Okay. All
And
those
it
in favor?
is 12:07 p.m.
All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry.
This is
All right.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay.
And bring lunch.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. You guys
Recording
ready?
in progress.
Okay. You guys ready?
I'll move to exit executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-3 and 4. For the record, no decisions were made during this time, and it is 12:53 p.m.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone against? Motion does carry. We're now out of executive session. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
We do not have anyone for public comment, but I would like to remind everyone that this is the week of the Cherry River Festival in Richwood. I saw the rides were going last night. Of course, the parade's on Saturday, so please come out to that like everybody did for the fair.
All right. Okay. I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion does carry. We're adjourned, guys.
Recording stop.